No, listening, if you're under 18, this is not for children, okay? I'm tired of not being able to walk past preschools. Hashtag sex offender by accident. Don't poop in a sandbox. No, listening, if you're under 18, thank you.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios agrietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos. Gracias.
Brian McCarthy interview show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy interview show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
Well. Sorry, I'm late. I went to the blood bank, not to make a deposit, but to make a withdrawal.
Transaction fee. He just gets real granular about like his banking experience.
Exactly. APR, AB positive, right? Well, folks, thanks a lot for joining us. God,
wow.
Yeah.
You come up with that ahead of time, or was that?
I knew we needed
freestyle.
I knew we needed a banger when I was listening to the intro, and I was like, I gotta think of something good. And I knew that thanks a lot was kind of close to fangs a lot, and I decided to throw it over the plate.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep, and I think it hit. So don't get spooked, folks. It's just our Halloween show, and welcome. My name is Brian McCarthy. Sitting to my right is Adam Hineker. And it's the Brian McCarthy interview show. So thank you. And if you're listening, it's a podcast, which obviously you can get all your fucking stupid things, your Stitchers, your Amazons, your Libs. Do people even listen to Libsyn, or is that just
Libsyn is just the hub that's where you upload to, and then it's an aggregate, you see.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
Then it goes out to
notes.
all the I actually was just having this conversation with someone the other day.
Did they promptly kill themselves?
Thank you for asking. Because people are just like, why do I need that? I'm like, well,
like it's an aggregate, and they just nod because, like pretending they know what they know
like,
what that is.
It's like saying, why do I need this foundation for my home? It's like, well,
I would just say, I make it real easy. I would just go, it's the algorithm. And people go, oh, okay, all right, algorithm.
The algorithm.
Oh yeah, Matrix.
If that isn't a catch-all kind
really
of word for
just anything
that you
want
just someone to stop asking questions.
Just throw it out there. We have to put it in the algorithm. So welcome to the show. And obviously, if you're watching, this is YouTube or Facebook. I don't know if to implore you, because that sounds very needy, but if you would click that stupid like thing or subscribe,
like and subscribe,
or God forbid, leave a comment. Even if the comment is just one letter, just F. I don't care. I think it helps the algorithm, to be honest.
I would say leave spell the word that you want to spell in
FAGGO, and etc. So welcome to the show.
Buongiorno.
If you're looking behind us, if you're watching, we are Adam found. Where did you actually find this delightful
Google image? But yeah, it's looks like Beelzebub.
Yep, Beelzebub.
And his minions, a bunch of cloaked sort of skeleton.
Yeah, sure.
Men,
like demon assistants.
They escaped from biology class.
Sure.
And they're murdering Christ, right in the jack-o'-lantern's kind of blocking it, but yeah, they're murdering Christ. So I thought, wow, if ever, it's almost like Google.
There's a great
like Google McCarthy.
Your computer just burst into flames afterwards. You had to draw a pentagram on the front of it in order to bring up this unholy image.
Sure.
It's funny. There is a movie from the 70s. Of course, I'm not going to know the name of it, but there's a great movie where this is a lot of people don't know this, but the guy that played Captain Kirk, William, I can call him Bill Shatner, like we went to high school together. Right. Bill Shatner and I, great power forward. But he
quite the crooner too.
Yeah, he is right.
What do you get? I knew
Starman.
Did a bit of singing, right? Didn't he do an album?
No. Well, didn't he do Rocket Man? Remember that famous thing where he comes out in the tuxedo and he's smoking?
And he like kind of talks.
Oh yeah,
right.
I think it's gonna be a long, long, long time.
I'm a fan of that.
I think Rocket Man burning on the streets of Evermore. But there was a point where his career was really in the shitter in the late 70s, and he made a movie where devil worshippers abducted his child, and the lead devil worshipper is Ernest Borgnine. And I know I'm dating myself.
The head worshiper?
The heads, the HNIC, if you will. head necromancer in charge.
Okay.
See what I did there? So the whole movie is, I just remember, and it's funny for those of you who don't know who Ernest Borgnine is. He's an actor. He died when he was like 97, so he only died fairly recently. But he was around for a million years, and but if you see his face, he looks like a very friendly, like he was in the Poseidon Adventure. He was, I don't know. He played that. Remember Jonathan Silverman? He played like, is it called The Single Guy? Remember that? It was like it was a sitcom in the 90s and early 2000s, maybe. And he played
right.
He played the doorman in the building, and he's just, you see his face. He's a very friendly looking, kind of a sweet, like a neighborhood grocer kind of guy. And then it's funny to see him like in a black cloak, like holding like a staff and being like, Satan will drink the blood of the innocents. You're like, all right, just, there was a big rush of satanic films in the late 70s. Have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
I don't believe I have.
It's really, really good. For those of you who've never seen Rosemary's Baby, that came out in 1967. Which I think is funny.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Is it that far back?
Yep,
wow.
Absolutely. Roman Polanski, who's still alive too. The guy's fucking 110.
He's in
yep.
Where is he? Like in France or something?
I believe he's in one of those rape-friendly European countries.
Right. They're like, it's interesting. You were asking one day, and I think we looked it up, where there's no extradition, but that are desirable places, and I think Costa Rica might be one of them, because I was watching this, I don't know, true crime thing, and this guy had gone to Costa Rica. A guy that murdered his wife, or had his wife murdered.
Okay. I believe. Okay, and again, I'm talking out of my ass.
So there could be hope for
what else is new.
For
I know.
Us.
Show's over. We have some raping and killing to do, folks.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Get on the Patreon.
You still haven't done yours.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, what is that leaking trash bag you brought with you over there in the corner? Yeah. Well, the thing about with Costa Rica, I would be surprised. I think there's also like degrees of extradition. I think there are very
shades.
Few, like there are countries, like for example, I think you could probably you could have done like, I don't know, 9/11, right? You could have done that, and if you managed to get out of the country, I don't think you go to Costa Rica and just live on the beach and be like, come and get me. I think, yeah. I think you would.
Oh no, they'll go after you for that.
But I do think that if you did something that was particularly heinous, act of terrorism, or just being very, very bad, whatever, and you managed, but if you got to like North Korea, or you got to like Russia, but those places you'd have to you just never leave, and then they stand a very good chance of them being like the guy from North Korea being like, you're no good guy, I'm gonna put you in our jail. Well, now who's reffing?
We're going to give you one of 3 haircuts.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get a choice.
Right. Here's your wife. She tree stump. Your wife was a tree stump. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So I think any of the I mean, just to go back to the other show for a minute, I think any country that has like full extradition is probably one of these places where you go and it's just like I don't know, they steal your money. I think it's frying pan into the fire. I don't think
hard to find a place with a cabana.
Having said that,
hide out in.
I think if you committed like bank fraud or bankruptcy, or I don't know, absconded on child support, I think the federal government looks at it and goes like, all right, we're not spending we're not spending $100,000.
SEAL Team 6 is not going in
to go get you there for
assault.
Right. Like I wonder with Cuba. No, but any country where like we give them aid to, I feel like they call, like America would call and be like, hey, listen, you have this guy there that like raped a bunch of like kids, and he thinks he's hot shit, and he's posting on Instagram and stuff, and we give you,
he's posting thirst traps.
Yeah, we give you $500 million a year for fucking banana pesticide or whatever. So why don't we do us a favor. You arrest him, and then we'll come get him at the airport, and
Yeah.
we'll keep it quiet. But come on, you guys, you guys have kids, right?
Would hate to see that banana pesticide budget get cut.
Yeah. Oh, what do you?
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
What do you
Awfully nice bananas you got there.
Hate to see your bananas all brown. What are you gonna make smoothies? How much banana bread can you people make? Yeah, that's what they're good
Lousy
for.
with rotten bananas.
Yeah. So anyway, but like I said, I do think, although the one country I keep going back to Venezuela, and that might be just because what's his name keeps saying the gangs are coming from Venezuela.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, I can't.
Wait,
yeah.
Okay, that was intentional.
Yeah.
You just it wasn't that
no,
you couldn't
remember. Can't remember the name of Trump.
That would be hilarious. You're like Trump, stump. Perump.
I know there's no P in front of it. It's not a silent T. It's not rump. Yeah. And also there was a movie that came out recently, or kind of fairly recently, with Russell Crowe, and he broke his wife out of prison. And because she didn't do a crime, and it was in Pittsburgh, so I guess I don't know why that matters, but anyway, and the whole movie was about him getting his wife out of prison, and he and his wife and his son escaping to Venezuela and living in Venezuela. Right. Although it would be funny if they got to Venezuela, they got off the plane and they just chop their heads right off. They're like, "Well, that's it. Give us your money." But so in the movie they made, and at the very end of the movie, not to give it away, but at the very end of the movie, you see him and his wife and his son like in a convertible driving along some scenic road in Venezuela, like in some beautiful kind of tropical-esque kind of, like mountain hill with the ocean there or something. So you're like, it looks kind of nice to me. So Venezuela might be a weird, like, you get down there, they're not going to look for you, but it's super fucking just pretty lawless down there.
We could definitely start some kind of an exchange situation, because plenty of them are.
Oh yeah, they're
in Queens selling DeWalt cordless drills off of blankets.
Adam, they're pouring over our borders.
They're pouring
this is a good way. You want to talk about something scary, folks? Yeah. Forget this.
I think I might be kind of near ground zero for that.
For the
for all the which, by the way, anybody wondering what it's like?
Go ahead.
It's a bunch of sexy ladies willing to work cheap.
Okay.
So
selling cordless drills?
They don't mention that. No, there's that element of it too.
That'd be great.
But
hey Adam, you ready for this one? Home Depot. All right.
Why, you get paid the big bucks?
Yep. Well, over 40 grand a year, folks.
But it's that is an element of it too, though, because basically what happened is,
go ahead.
It's sort of like a Goodwill on the sidewalk. Like they just kind of, I think they get like clothes and things donated.
Sure.
And then there's also like the blanket with, sneakers. Your fresh kicks.
Are these real sneakers? Or
I have no idea.
Okay.
If they're bootleg or probably not real.
Because I've had people ask me that don't live in New York. They're like, "How are the migrants in New York?" I'm like, I have to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, they're not on the Upper East Side.
Sure, they would be. They'd be. Yeah.
I mean, they're not even in my neighborhood, but they're in the next neighborhood.
Well, I will tell you, the one time there's a hotel called the Hotel Roosevelt, everybody, and it's down off of 46th Street, right off of Madison Avenue, and it's a big old hotel, but it's closed. But I think it's landmarked, so it's closed. But I think it's a migrant hotel because my vision's all fucked up, and there's a store around there, J Press. Shout out to Robert Wolf and Richard Press, who did the show.
Yeah,
who actually saw him last night. I can tell you about that. But I was walking across the street from the Roosevelt Hotel, and there are all of these people in front of it, just people, and there were like sleeping bags, and like there was just it was like the people were spilling out of it in the street.
Tent city,
but the street wasn't like, that's a kind of funny thing about New York, is like people just kind of walk through all that shit. You just kind of like, you're like, I gotta get my train on. You just you're like stepping over some guy,
over people's homes.
Yeah, some guys like exactly, like eating some MRE, like wrapped in one of the silver marathon blankets, and you're just like, hey, all right, I gotta go. Excuse me. Don't even say. You're like,
I stepped over a spaceman.
Yeah, AirPod, right? Spaceman, African spaceman,
yes. Venezuelan spaceman.
Yeah. Oh God! Hey, we're gonna go real far into the sky today. Oh man, it's crazy. We go to Mars. But so it was funny. So I went over because I thought I didn't occur to me that these could be migrants, and I couldn't really see the detail of. I just saw like sleeping bags, and so I immediately thought there were people lining up for tickets.
Oh wow, you thought that they were
like
waiting for Ed Sheeran or something
like that. Yeah, well, maybe not Ed Sheeran, but somebody,
Bad Bunny,
somebody like that.
They're waiting for Bad Bunny.
No,
tickets.
These were like African. Like these were
these were African.
These were like
folks,
tall,
maybe Akon,
skinny.
They were Akon fans.
Well, it turns out they were all just refugees and migrants because there was one guy that had
maybe they're Haitian.
Maybe. Well, yeah, maybe. I'd like to think I can tell the difference between a Haitian and an African. Man, there was some. It was a lot of.
But they come from the same place
to a certain extent. Yes, but I will say this.
I mean, genetically, originally,
don't we all come from Africa, Adam? Is that what you're saying?
I would say we're all God's creatures.
Yes. I will say this though: if you see somebody who is like, 6'2", weighs 140 pounds, and is like really, really black, those are like those people. Those guys are. I can spot an African just by virtue of.
Oh well, yeah. Well, there's a certain
like from like northeast, like Somalia, like that, and the girls are. The girls are beautiful. Not to throw Paul Dinin under the bus, but apparently, he said that. Greatest. I'm sorry, Paul. I shouldn't. Well, this is a long time ago.
We talked about
the whorehouses in Ethiopia.
Well, we talked about a little dalliance that he had with an African gal in.
When she wouldn't leave the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No. He was on when
I don't think he would mind.
Way before he met his wife. It's fine.
At least four and a half. I would say 4.5, maybe even 5 weeks before he met her.
Yeah, exactly. It was on the way
way before
third date, maybe. But no, so he's told me that he went to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, and he said that he went to like a whorehouse in Addis Ababa.
Oh my! I'm looking this up.
And he said the women are beautiful because they're Ethiopian. They're very tall and they have like
there's
cheekbones,
they're gorgeous.
Not really your type. No, really.
What do you mean?
Well, because they're not. They don't have. They tend to be
very.
Oh
yeah, they do. There's plenty.
Okay,
there's plenty of them.
All right.
I knew a thick Ethiopian from back in Minnesota, because in Minnesota there's a bunch of East African.
Okay, all right. But anyway, to get back to this hotel thing, so I went up to the guy with the clipboard, and I literally said, I was like, "What is everyone waiting in line for?" And the guy looked at me like I was crazy, and he was like, "These are refugees, like they're migrant." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or penicillin. News of their dead children, because none of these kids. I'm going to tell.
What was the place called?
Addis, Addis Ababa, Addis Ababa. It's like It's like I don't know if it's the only city in Ethiopia, but you know what's weird about Ethiopia is they're all Christian. They're all Coptic Christians over there.
Well, isn't there? Oh wait, maybe that's further down there because there's a lot of Muslims.
Well, like
Somalia. And...
Yeah, well, you get a little west of it, but Ethiopia is
Addis Ababa. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you looking up? Like Addis Ababa whorehouses?
Oh, I mean, I was just
see if you have to wear a condom. I'm asking for a friend because it doesn't feel the same.
I'm gonna write Addis Ababa.
There you go. But I will say, funny enough, just to kind of bring this around to something, yesterday I had to go to my sexy dermatologist, Dr. Adam, and I had something removed off of my back. It's nothing. Apparently it's nothing. He said, well, it might be melanoma, but it's not. But took it off. It's fine. So yesterday I had to get the sutures removed. So I went down there, and my doctor is very good looking. He's very gay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I always talk to him about gay stuff, and
right.
He and it was good because I always think like maybe I annoy him, but then the nurse told me when I was there actually getting the thing burned off like 2 weeks ago, she was like, he must really like you because he never actually does this stuff himself. He usually like just comes in and then he'll do the procedure really quickly and then just bounce and then she'll like dress it.
And with you, he does it with his mouth.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, exactly.
So
we do it over brunch. Yeah, exactly. He's but it was funny because he was working on. I was like, while I was laying down, I asked him. I said, "Do you want me to get fully nude or just my loafers? What are you looking for today?" He goes, "No, just pull your shirt up." I said,
"Just like tall argyles."
Yeah, just dark argyles, garter grabbers,
Birkenstocks.
You put your phone down. What did it say about Addis Ababa?
Well, there's a interesting site that's the heading is. Prostitution for $2.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Prostitution in Ethiopia has increased massively in the last years. In the capital, Addis Ababa,
thank you,
who I loved him in those
Yeah, he's good. He's a nationwide
spy
guy.
movies.
He's,
Yeah.
wasn't he in The Wire?
Yeah, Addis Ababa. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of like the boss.
The head of it all.
Around 130,000 girls support themselves by selling their bodies.
Okay.
Most of the girls are under 18.
All
They say
right.
they're like,
Okay.
it's a bad thing.
Okay. It's getting pretty weird here.
The youngest girls are.
Okay. All right. Seems like they have a problem over there, but
yeah.
I like
wow.
I like to think Paul went to some very fancy place where they had like a tube television. You know what I mean? Like a color.
I mean, there's some screenshots too, and it looks pretty bleak.
Yeah.
I do like that they make a point of this. Most men choose the youngest girls because they're typically HIV free.
I mean, you know what?
Men prefer to choose the youngest girls since they believe they are HIV free. That's an
Joke's
actual.
on you. Yeah.
This keeps lowering the age of those becoming HIV infected.
Oh, that's the algorithm.
Well,
that's the algorithm.
This has been a bummer.
Yeah.
And,
All right, everybody. 7-year-old African girls with
Holy
AIDS.
shit.
Yeah, I know. It's right. But again,
Yikes.
I'm sure it's like anything else. You can go to Sizzler for a steak or you can go to Peter Luger's. I like to think that Paul is at the Peter Luger's of HIV negative.
He's at least got is sitting at the bar at Peter Luger's eating that really good burger. They have like a great burger there.
$20. Now I'm starving.
At least that.
Yeah.
Maybe side of a cream spinach.
Paul's one of my best friends. I love him dearly. He's at least a double-digit HIV negative prostitute, 11 or 12.
He probably at least threw down like $7.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
plus a tip. Probably gave him an even 10.
Yeah, 10, and then said keep it. And as she's like dotting her Carpacci sarcoma on her forehead, just like, okay, thank you, Mr. Paul, thank you very much. I don't know why she sounds like Locke from Taxi. Thank you very much.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? So anyway, so I go to see my. So if I asked my doctor 2 weeks ago, I was like, "What school did you go to?" And he said, "Because I went to Harvard." I said, "Wow, Harvard." I said, "I didn't know there was a modeling school at Harvard."
Wow, you're really
it's disgusting. It's
smitten with this guy.
Yeah, he. You know what it is? I like it. I like an older.
Does he thwart your advances or?
He leans into it a little bit. Well, we were talking about, this is 2 weeks ago, we were talking about gay sex clubs in Berlin.
Sure.
And he mentioned, he was like, I asked him because he was talking about, we were talking about like other cities and like gay scenes in other cities. Because gay people can always tell that I'm not gay. You know what I mean? Like a straight person would hear me and be like, oh, that guy's totally gay. But like,
really, I feel like gay guys think everybody's gay.
No, because I think I'm too like into it or something. Like I don't know. They can.
Yeah, but don't they think you're just kicking tires?
Okay, put it this way. Let's say you work for the Treasury Department. You pick up a $20 bill. You know if it's counterfeit or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's lines to look for. You know, maybe that weird eye above the pyramid doesn't have lashes or something. Right. You know what I mean?
That's actually weirdly a hidden talent. I've never talked about this, but I'm really good at spotting counterfeit from working in the service industry. I could spot people from like before they even would come in. I would go, that guy's he's gonna grab a bottle of water and he's gonna try to get changed for a 20.
Oh,
yeah. I was really good at it.
What would you do at that point?
Well, you would just go, actually that's where it gets really fun because so I would always be able to spot people really, really easily. Mostly because I worked in like higher end places and the people that would be coming into pass off counterfeit money didn't fit, right? Like it just didn't make sense, right? Because like some like young 17-year-old like kid that is a little street, got a little street cred.
Yep.
He's not coming in to buy like pay $8 for an almond milk latte, right?
Right.
So you could always tell. And they would hand it to you and then you go, yeah, this is not real. And then that's where the performance starts. Oh. And so it's fun to watch the sort of acting. Now, and I would play along and I would really get people. I'd go, where did you get this? Because you got to go back. They passed you fake money. Did you give them change? And yeah, they gave me change. And now it was great.
In your opinion, do you think that these people like manufactured this money or do they go?
No, I just think that there's like little rings. Maybe like it's probably like gang. It's probably like a gang revenue thing.
And they just figure that. I wonder if you know the right organized crime people, you can just go to a counterfeit bill salesperson kind of, and you can buy like for $1,000.
Probably
$5,000.
You could go on the Silk Road.
Counterfeit, fired up.
That still exists, but
let's use your laptop.
Great. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Search underage Ethiopian prostitutes. Will they take
did that
counterfeit?
On my phone?
Yeah.
So I'm probably on some kind of a list.
You're in the algorithm now, buddy.
But yeah, I think that you're probably right. There could be a thing where people buy them because there's definitely strategy, because it would be like young black kid, young like Latin kid or whatever, but then occasionally they would try to send in like what they felt would be a sexy lady. Which in my case is what I consider a sexy lady. Right. So it kind of worked out. So
you got honeypotted?
I never fell for it, but I definitely flirted with a girl or two that was trying to.
She's like, come on, baby.
Because I would be like, you don't think, like, that this isn't real. And then they would kind of, I don't know, like, come on. Yeah. But I mean, it could have been like the beginning of a Brazzers scene. You know what I mean? If I'm like, hey, I'm going to call the cops.
Or could have been a great story to tell your grandkids. How'd you meet grandma? Well, she came in. She tried to give me $1,000 bill with Daffy Duck on it. And she wanted to buy a bottle of Poland Spring. And then she offered to blow me in the walk-in, and here we are 50 years later.
The best one was these two teenage kids came in, and they would always try to do a thing too, where they would like try to distract somebody, or they try to find like the younger employee or something like that.
Sure.
And so there was a little bit of sleight of hand involved, but I remember these one kids handed a bill, and I just kind of like turned around, and they handed it to me because I was going to take the money, and it was like shiny. It was hilarious. I mean, I burst out laughing, and I just remember going, "Oh my God!"
Because aren't you?
And I called everybody over, and I'm like, "Look at this! Everybody's dying laughing." I mean, and I didn't even think about it. It was so hilarious.
Because aren't you supposed to put the money like in with tennis balls in the dryer or something? Like there's some
all I remember was it was shiny. It was the first time I'd ever seen, and I just remember the kids were like mortified.
Okay.
And I just remember saying, "Can I keep this?" And they're like, "What do you mean? It's money. Like, why would you?"
Yeah.
They're still trying to play like it's real. It was great.
I bet those two didn't even really know. Like,
no, they definitely
they know.
Because it was like you could tell, just because it would like the type of people that go into places like that are not.
Yeah, I know
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. Was it so shiny it was worth more than $20?
Maybe.
You're like,
honestly, I would have given them. I may have offered them like whatever they wanted or something. Like whatever, just pick something. I'll give it to you for. But I'm not giving you change. Like this is hilarious, and you made my day.
Because I never have cash anymore, and but I do think it's funny sometimes. Like when you go to a grocery store or something, and you have $100 bill, and the person holds it up like they work for the FBI, and they like look at it in the light.
And it's like it's so stupid because you don't need to do any of that. You can tell when something is fake.
I thought it was very performative.
It's very performative, and I think it's a little insulting too, because Yeah. I mean, I can tell from it was to the point where I could tell from across the room. I mean, about where your TV is mounted right there. I can tell from about that distance, like that it's fake.
Somebody's gonna come up there for.
I mean, you profile. I mean, you can tell by the type of person.
Okay,
but also you would get people that would try to give you like a fake credit card too.
Adam, sidebar, I'm picking up everything you're putting down. If you know what I mean. I know it's profiling.
I mean, it's literally it's just very easy. Here's the thing: if you work at Applebee's,
right,
that's much harder because there's all manner of riffraff going into Applebee's. So it's like,
or people wanting a delicious meal, fair prices.
Yeah.
Who want a free dessert if it's their birthday?
But it's literally everybody, going into
chain
restaurants.
Bring your driver's license because they're going to ask you for it, and that's super embarrassing.
Right.
Because
if you want the lava cake,
do it ahead of time. Yeah, exactly. Imagine you say it's my birthday, and then afterwards they're like, "We need to see some ID," and then you don't have it. They just charge you. They're like, "Listen, you knew the score coming in here." And by the way, your $20 bill has a Mario brother on it.
I know for a fact that they don't ask for ID because I multiple times I've had friends think that they were funny and told them it was my birthday, and they come out and sing happy birthday and bring the fucking cake with the sparkler on it.
Or
so annoying.
I know it is.
It's not funny.
So yesterday I was leaving this area called Tribeca, and then I had like 3.5 hours to kill before I had to go somewhere, which is an annoying amount of time because if I would have gone home, it would have taken about 45 minutes. And then I would have come home and like sat in the house and stared at the wall for 45 minutes and then had to get to
do a lap around the living room.
Yeah, exactly. My next thing. So I was like, you know what? It's a beautiful day. I'm just going to walk around. I'm going to walk to it was going to be like ultimately I had to get up to like Midtown. So I figured I would just walk. Right. So I walk up. There's a road in New York, and I know some people listening, but there's a road called Canal Street, which is called that because it used to be a canal. Isn't that interesting? And that is the northern border of Chinatown, and it goes from one side of Manhattan all the way to the other. And so I get onto Canal Street, and Canal Street is it's a big two-way street, and first thing I notice are, like, I'm not exaggerating, like 50 police cars. And I see those, and I see paddy wagons and like an armored personnel carrier. I see all these fucking cops. I mean, it looked like a scene from the movie Heat or something. It was like wild. And there were like SWAT guys walking in, but nobody was like, they weren't actively doing anything. There were just tons of cops and special fucking forces and Delta team. And I don't know what, they were all walking around. And then on the sidewalk there, and this is the African thing, this is African Halloween. It wasn't about something scary. But there were all of these African guys who were on the sidewalk who had gotten busted for selling counterfeit bags.
I mean, hasn't that been going on since the beginning? When they founded Canal Street?
But it is illegal. And I do remember it used to be like very illegal. And then what happened was the city stopped, I think, like really, pressing the law, or what am I trying to say here? Like enforcing the law, right?
Right.
And I think what happens with something like that is, you go from like enforcing, because it used to be like you'd walk down the street and there would just be like an African guy standing there, and he'd have a huge bed sheet, and he'd have behind his back like a big knapsack, and then you'd walk by him and he would just go like beg, beg, beg. And if you seem like you're interested, he would immediately drop his sack on the sidewalk, and it would have all these fake bags in it. And then you would do the transaction, but it was all done very quickly, like a drug deal. And then he would pack it up again. But what I've noticed is recently, and I haven't seen as much of it like in Midtown because maybe they cleaned it up, but it got to be where every corner you went to, they wouldn't be like in the knapsack popping this shit out. It would just be already laid out, and it'd be laid out like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior, fucking blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So it was all like, and it was almost like it was laid out like it was legal. So I remember thinking to myself, like about a year ago, like this is where it gets to be so blatant, kind of like Roosevelt Avenue.
They've got DeWalt, Makita, Craftsman,
right?
All the labels.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it went from when it was illegal and you could get busted very easily for it. They were pretty on the DL about everything, but they got more and more brazen, I think, as they realized that the police weren't making it a priority. So it got to be where they're like, when you like the last time I was I'm not down there that often, but the last time I was on Canal Street, you could barely walk down the street because on one side you had like, these Chinese souvenir places with all that shit. And then literally you would have like 2 feet of sidewalk, and then you would have just, hundreds of feet of just African guys selling counterfeit bags and maybe watches, but bags is up. And then you would see the police walking around and nobody ever did anything. Right? I remember thinking to myself, like, this is gonna, at some point they're gonna this is all gonna end. So I feel like yesterday I walked right through like the big counterfeit bag bust of 2024.
I wonder if there's something to that, because they just came through and shut down all the brothels and stuff on Roosevelt Avenue. But I heard that was because of like residents were really pressing them on, and they were saying that They're like people are turning tricks right by the school.
No, it's always
you know what I mean. It's like
it's always the kids. God, give me a
right.
break. That's how you learn. Yeah,
Sure.
look out the window
Make
in
an honest
fourth grade.
dollar.
Yeah, yeah. You look at the window. It's how you learn the birds and the bees.
But that's what I heard. But they just came through and all the sheriffs were like shutting. I mean, they've done it before though, and it lasts about 4 days.
Well, I do think it is kind of like whack-a-mole, where like there'll be
100%.
one, yeah. There's one crime in New York that becomes like a huge prize. It goes from being like they enforce it, and then everyone kind of realizes that you can do it, but if you get caught, it's going to be a problem. And then they sort of stop enforcing it. That at least whatever that is, for this example, these bags. And then from there they go, and everyone just goes, all right, well, fuck it. I guess we're just gonna.
Yeah, some time passes, and then one pops up, and then another one pops up, and then it's just back to
and it just became
business as usual.
Like and like in Midtown where I am a lot. Like in the 50s and stuff, like by MoMA and that Fifth Avenue and stuff, you would walk down the street, and even like in front of like the real stores, you would see like a guy with like a fucking Gucci, like in front of Gucci, you'd have a guy across like right in front with like a bag that had like Gucci with 3 C's.
Like I don't think that Burberry kiosk is I think that's official.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me. You like go into the store, try to return it. You're like, I just bought this from one of your sales associates out front.
He was wearing huaraches. And,
it was a duffel bag that I bought for $50. And when I put my thumb on the Burberry print, it wiped off because it was made with magic marker. Could I swap this out for a?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, there are some of those counterfeit bags are no joke though. Like you can actually spend like you can buy a $1,000 fake Gucci bag, and you almost can't tell the difference of. But
you just have to be like a real, like a housewife of New York City or something type to know.
Like this,
or like a Brian McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, excuse me, let me inspect your bag. Well, because I do see things on Instagram where like they'll have like Louis Vuitton like bullshit, and you look at it and you're like, it'll say like copy. It'll say like LV copy. And I'm like, that's legal. You can do that if you call it a copy.
Jeez,
I guess.
Louise.
I know it's a mess out there. So,
I mean, with Louis Vuitton, it's the actual, it's the literal initials. So I don't know.
But I mean, you can just, presumably
do they change it just
I don't think that. I think I
don't know how any of that shit
I think you
works.
make it look as like real as possible, and then you just take your chances because you don't want to buy a fake bag and that looks fake,
Sure.
Although I do remember years ago, my my half brother, we don't. You're not my real brother. He
wait, he's not even. Oh yeah, he is your half brother. Yeah, you have the same mother.
We have the same mother. Okay. Yeah. But I remember he was young and he wanted me to get him a fake Rolex for Christmas. So I actually went down to Canal Street.
Ticks.
Yep. I went to Canal Street and the first guy I went to, I don't know, he was some Chinese guy.
Lucky day.
Yeah. It was so funny. It was like one of those like Hollywood casting. It was like a guy literally with like a briefcase and he popped it open and he
set up.
Yeah, a jacket on,
jacket full of watches,
a counterfeit trench coat with counterfeit jackets. Right. I'm like, this guy's a robot.
Holy shit.
But he showed me, and I just bought like a Rolex. I think I bought like an Explorer, and I remember it was like he wanted $50. I think I got it for like 30.
Sure. You got to haggle.
Yeah. And on the way home, I was looking at it and I shook it a little bit, and the second hand came right off. Just like,
no,
zip. This came right off. So anyway, so I get to Canal Street and I'm walking. I was talking to somebody on the phone as I'm walking, and I'm telling them, I'm like, God, I'm like walking through a major counterfeit bust here.
Wow.
And to me, that's the funny thing about New York is like literally like but nobody was like in handcuffs. Nobody was being pressed against the wall. There was nobody, but there were lots of like people walking around like with their phones, like filming it. Just
were they just like seizing?
Yeah. Yes. It was seizing
the inventory.
But it was weird because they were seizing the inventory, but it seemed like for some reason, all of the other guys that were selling the bags, they were all there. There were like, I'm telling you, there were hundreds of these guys It was almost like they were going to protest or something. I don't know what was going on, but
Wow.
But the funny thing about it was like Canal Street's a pretty busy street for walking. So it's like you either have people that are getting arrested for counterfeit, or people that are stepping over them going to have dim sum, like just being like, okay, what is this again? What?
Yes.
What's going on?
Or people looking for hand jobs.
Or hand jobs.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. That part of town does not have a lot of massage parlors.
Really? I would think that would be like
no, because
ground zero.
If you think about it, I know this is very New York centric, and I'm sorry, but like it's bordered by Soho. It's a very expensive neighborhood.
Okay.
There's not going to be a whole lot of those places there. Then you have Tribeca, very expensive area. And then Chinatown, I think it's a little too on the nose. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Koreatown.
Maybe you don't want your own. Koreatown. Oh,
like,
up in the 30s.
Yeah, in the 30s. That's
Gotcha.
that's the hand job district. Yeah, very much so. Yes. But
HJD.
Not to say that I'm sure there's some place, you could. Plus, also, like when you walk through Chinatown, like I like sometimes you'll look in and see a store and you're like, what are they even selling in there? It's like it's like duck feet and counterfeit DVDs, and you're just like, all right, I guess. And it's really busy, and there's lychee nuts and everything. You're
smells like fish.
Yeah, what are you guys selling here? Right,
like
right.
A fish market.
Yeah. There's people playing. You know what they do have? They have that that rice wine. You know what I'm talking about?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So you can buy. It's like basically it's like Chinese moonshine. And they sell it in the back you go to the cooler where they keep the soft drinks and stuff. In the bottom of the cooler, they'll be like they look like those containers that you get like soup in, those plastic containers.
Right.
And I'll have a bag over it, like a zip.
Just the like restaurant.
Yes.
Kind of takeout
with like a cheap plastic bag as opposed to an expensive plastic bag.
Sure.
Tied on top of it. And what that is it's like fermented rice wine. And it's like one of those is like, I don't know, $5, and it's equivalent of like a 6-pack or something.
You just get blasted.
Yeah, I have never
like
purchased
on Chinese New Year or something.
I think you buy it to like, I don't know. It's like I don't know if they have Chinese hobos, but it's like
you don't see. There's one guy by me that he looks like Southeast Asian,
right?
He's got that kind of like long sort of Fu Manchu,
but
he's like more darker. Maybe he's like from like
did you buy a gremlin from him? Did you buy Mowgli from him? Gizmo?
But I think that there probably are Chinese hobos.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Asian hobos. But you don't see many.
I think if you go to like San Francisco or that area.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think you're either like a tech millionaire or a hobo. Like those are the only two.
I think a Chinese hobo is a Chinese person that went to a state school. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's some Chinese mothers like, my son is a hobo. He went University of Michigan.
Yes. Like he only knows a trade.
Yeah.
He's got an associate's degree.
He's a hobo. He's a cardiologist.
Yes.
He don't even have a 2 doctorate. He's a cardiologist. So stupid. Oh, for Christ's sake.
He's a disgrace to the family.
Yeah. Oh, my chiropractor son, the hobo? Oh, he come here fly economy plus. He don't even have extra leg room. So stupid. I'm such an idiot.
I do wonder if there's something to be said about the amount of hand job places and the phenomenon that we were just talking about having to kill 3 hours.
Yep.
I bet that's like a huge part of.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Because if you think about it, they're everywhere.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people in New York City that have appointments. It's like, hey,
dude,
I got some time to go. It's either like Starbucks.
I would hazard a guess and say 8 out of 10 times a hand job place is an impulse buy. Like, you're either like,
because they're everywhere.
They're everywhere, and you have
never even thought of that.
2 hours to kill.
Got some time to kill.
It is a great way to kill time. I mean, if you think you get a massage, and honestly, a lot of times you almost don't have a choice because most places you can't just walk in and just get a massage. You can get like
I always have
in Queens though.
Mostly Queens, in Manhattan too.
Okay, well, there's like the foot places.
Yeah,
those places, or those
places are great,
or the chair places. But I'm talking
about
go
to the chair place.
Yeah, the one you put your head in the thing, and they, that it's a massage chair. But I'm talking about if you want to like actually have like a quasi spa experience, then you almost have to go to a hand job place, I would imagine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've had very mixed. My thing with, I've had a few really good. I haven't had many massages, but
after the
half
show,
of them.
after the show,
Would you please?
Yeah, I'll work
killing me right here.
I'll work at the Kings.
But they've been really hit or miss. Like they're either amazing and I walk out feeling like I'm floating on a cloud, or they kick my ass. So, and I think it's like maybe the style, because I think the deep tissue is the one that like really hurts, and I think I accidentally get that.
Well, you can also, you're supposed to have sort of a conversation with them before
Yeah,
they
no,
start.
they do. And here's the thing: is I'm always like, because they say, you know, light, medium, hard, and I say medium
right
every time. I'm hard, but
yeah, exactly.
But go medium,
right.
And but it just always, I mean, they kill me every time. They get up on the fucking bars. You ever get up on the bars?
Yeah.
Which that I actually don't mind, because it's usually just like a little Asian lady or walking on your back. But there's also like not great communication because they don't always speak English.
Have you ever heard of a lymphatic massage?
No.
That is a massage where they somehow drain the fluids in you, but I don't know where it goes. Does it
drain the fluid?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Isn't that what we're talking? We were talking about earlier.
Soft, medium, or hard? I don't know. Just put your fingers in my back.
I don't know. What do you
need?
My gland expressed.
Yeah, but it is.
Do you do that here?
Yeah, it's called a lymphatic massage. I think like it's a way to like drain. I don't know how. I know. Now by the way, now I'm just thinking about it. It is funny, but
lymphatic.
LYMPHA, not an emphatic massage, which is one that you really, really, really like. I emphatically need a hand job.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a thing where they somehow
lymphatic drainage massage.
There you go. See, lymphatic.
So they drain your lymph nodes, or
Boy, Google's probably like, what's this guy up to? He's got a 7-year-old prostitute with AIDS. Right. Now he's trying to get a drain.
Earlier he was asking for pictures of the devil.
Yeah, we're gonna send somebody to. We're gonna do a Google wellness check.
I may have a caseworker. Mm-hmm. How it works? Okay, lymphatic system acts almost like a garbage disposal. I'm doing this. This sounds fucking amazing. Garbage disposal. Helping your body filter out waste and bacteria. Lymphatic drainage massage.
Okay, by the way, if I can just jump in for a minute, it's not very medical to say it acts like a garbage disposal. So far, it's.
And this is from the Cleveland Clinic.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, this is Cedars-Sinai. Sorry, the Cleveland Clinic. So, I mean,
all right.
Which is sometimes called manual lymphatic drainage, or
damn
MDL.
Right it is. Yep.
Involves gently massaging areas of the body to help move lymph fluid to an area with working lymph vessels.
Okay.
So
it doesn't like leak out of your toes or anything.
It just like
it moves
distributes. There's some sort of, well, it's like, the guys with, I don't know if it's the CTE or whatever, but the guys in the NFL with like crazy head trauma, a lot of them, or I've heard of guys that they have to like get their fucking like their brain fluid drained. Like it like builds up this pressure, and then they have to get it drained.
Yeah.
So it's like some sort of.
But do they move it around, or do they like actually like put a little needle in their head and drain out the? I wonder.
That I think they might actually drain it.
So this
with a device.
They kind of redistribute.
Sure, if like
fluid in your body. Well, it sounds good. I mean, I'm into it.
Sounds fucking great. I may look into this.
Yeah, I mean, and again, forgive me if I've told this story already. Let me just preface what I'm going to say by saying that. But at the time that I was in Cleveland, and I was opening that Hustler Club for then when I worked out there, and I was going out there a lot. It's like 20 fucking years ago, and I remember I had the exact same kind of thing. I had some free time where I had to be somewhere in the flats, and I had the job that I had a town car, and I had this it was really funny. I had this like kind of like very nice like black guy who was older, and the new Justin Timberlake had just come out, and he's like, "Do you like Justin Timberlake?" And I was like, I mean,
You
yeah,
know?
I guess. And he was like, all the beats are done by Timberland.
Oh,
And
yeah, that was the one where it was all like Neptunes and Timberland.
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And he just like was banging this thing, and I'm sitting in this like limousine with this guy in the front seat. We're just driving around like
Hell
Cleveland.
yeah,
Like
dude.
it was a lot of fun actually. So,
Sounds like a good time.
but so at a certain point, I turned to him. I'm like, I have 3 hours to kill. I was like, do you know a place? And I did not mean, I'm serious. I did not mean a hand job place. I was just like, do you know a place where I can just get like a massage? I can just kill. I wanted to kill like an hour and a half, like some kind of place. And he was like, yeah, I think I do know a place. And it's also like a hair salon. And it's a half an
Okay.
hour away.
All right.
And I'm already thinking to myself, all right, it's half an hour to get there, half an hour back. So now I've killed an hour just driving there. That's going to be another, both sides of the Justin Timberlake album. So that's fine.
Sure.
Then I'll get there, an hour of the thing, and then a half an hour back. Then I'll have a half an hour at this restaurant to get a little drink on before I have to have dinner with my boss, who's a total fucking weirdo. And this other guy from Cleveland who is now dead from OxyContin, but another total weirdo, Tom somebody. So I was like, all right, let's go. So we drive. We pull into like, it's a parking lot, and there's like a hair salon, it's like John of Italy's, hair salon or whatever. So he's like, just go in there. I'm like, all right. I walk in, and it's a fucking salon. And this guy comes up, and he's this big jacked white guy, and he has like a mustache, and he looks like the Mr. Clean guy, but with a mustache. So he's bald with like a ring in his ear, and he has on kind of like scrubs, kind of, but like white scrubs.
Yeah, like the massage therapists wear those a lot of times.
And he was super friendly, and he goes, hey. I said, hi. I said, I know this is crazy. I said, but I'm in town, and guy that I know said I just looking to get an hour of massage. Do you do lymphatic drainage? No, I didn't say that, but I was like, I'm looking at an hour massage.
Testicular drainage.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Raymond?
Right. Yeah, right.
That was the guy from in Seinfeld when George got a male masseuse. He said, "Hi, George. I'm Raymond."
It's pretty funny.
It's my go-to masseuse name.
So he goes, he kind of like looks at the computer, and he goes, yeah, we can take it right now. As a matter of fact, no problem.
I like that he had to look at the computer. He's like,
yeah,
actually, it says here, nobody comes here.
Yeah. He's like, he looks down.
We're in Cleveland.
Yeah. It's a keyboard plugged into the yellow pages. Just the cord is under the yellow pages. He's like, boop, 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 boop. Hold on. Wait, it's still processing. Hold on. We got to get this sucker. We need more RAM in this puppy.
Yes.
So he looks at the thing and he goes, yeah, we take it right now. He goes, let me take you back, and we'll get you, and I go, okay. And he's walking me back, and I'm like, okay, walk.
Now, any sort of qualms about him being the masseuse? Like,
well, that's the thing.
Okay.
So we get to the room, and he goes, make yourself comfortable, and I'll be back. And I'm like, now all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, is this
so
the
you didn't
guy?
realize that he was gonna be?
I didn't realize it was like one-stop shopping. I didn't realize like the massage
guy.
No,
I'm it. It's I'm Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm John. My last name is of Italy. Okay. And I'm doing your massage. So he leaves, but then I think to myself, all right, well, what if he's just going to bring the person back?
Sure.
And all the people cutting hair were all women. So I was like, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm incredibly homophobic, but I did not want a male masseuse. I just didn't want it. Now I might not care so much. And I've had like my trainer occasionally rub my shoulders. Usually it's after brunch, but and like it feels very
foreplay.
It feels very more like 8-play the way he does. But it feels very like medicinal the way sports massage. Like it's just he gets in the shoulders and right. He doesn't like bite my earlobe or anything.
Sure.
My ass.
Speaking of Cleveland,
exactly.
Deshaun Watson,
steamer,
known for being very handsy with
all the sports massage
with
people.
The sports massage people. So
idiot.
It all kind of ties in. That's so fucking stupid.
It really is.
It's like the dumbest thing to
just
when you're worth like $200 million. It's like, you idiot.
Yeah. Just hire somebody to go on the tour with you, and that's your hand job person.
Literally, you have an amount of money. He was living, this was really in Houston, I believe, when he played for the Texans. You have the amount of money to hire one of the many beautiful Latin women, black women, they've got gorgeous women.
7-year-old Ethiopians.
You probably could get Meg the Stallion to jerk you off.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
You know, at that point, she wasn't that famous yet. But
I don't know who any of these people are, but okay.
So like, I don't know. I don't know that many famous people from Houston, but that's the only one I can think of. But you know what I mean? Like, why would you?
It never makes. Well, I mean,
And then
I'll finish my
you end
massage
up in Cleveland. Go ahead.
No, but I feel the same way. It's kind of like Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, just get girls that look like they're 17 or 16. Who cares? Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like,
I guess there's a self-sabotaging element to it, maybe, where they're like, wait, but if I'm not risking my entire future.
Yeah. Like, just
it's not like hot.
No, pee on a very young looking 18-year-old R. Kelly.
And my thing with, at least Epstein was like an old, you know,
go ahead,
guy, whatever.
All right.
Chosen one.
Uh-huh.
But Deshaun Watson, too young to be into
beautiful.
Like, you're too young to be that kinky. I'll give Bill Cosby a pass because he was at it for a long time.
He started,
but
off
it's like,
pretty
come
young.
on, man, you're way too young. Your whole future's ahead of you.
Yeah. Whatever. I am not unfamiliar with this story, but what happened to him? Did he get arrested? Is he out of the NFL? NHL?
No, he plays in Cleveland. That's why.
NHL.
Yeah.
I'm so gay.
You are.
Is he still an Oiler?
Yeah. No, he was a Texan, but that he ended up in Cleveland. That was why.
Okay.
The tie-in, I guess, sort of. But
you just hire a team of massage people to go with you, and then they just fucking jerk off after every game or whatever. I mean,
well, I think that was the thing, and I can wrap my head around that, because he was trying to get, I think, people to jerk him off that weren't the people that jerk you off.
Oh.
So I think that's the appeal, is the surprise element. My thing is, you're too young of a guy to be like needing that big of a dopamine hit. I think at this point, like, you should still be like, I don't know.
I hear you. Although I will say, I know people that exhibited signs of like real perversion very early in their life. It's kind of like with serial killers,
true.
Like that Jeffrey Dahmer thing that I watched, like when he was when he put the oil in with the guppies to kill the fish.
Sure.
So like I think I could see that's part of, I think convincing a sports therapist to give you a hand job is like a gateway drug to, like, you know.
Yeah, well, but it was really that was the thing that he sort of got busted for. So it wasn't like he was Rick James and they're like,
right,
oh my God, there's like 5 women tied up in his closet with like
burned
crack pipe burns or whatever.
Right. And one of them was in The Exorcist.
Right.
Linda Blair.
But it seemed like a waste.
So I'm in Cleveland,
yeah,
and I get to the room. The guy goes, "Okay, make yourself comfortable and be right back." So now I'm in the room, and I know what make yourself comfortable means. It means, make yourself comfortable. So I'm starting, and it was the winter, so I'm like, "Oh, these fucking clothes to take off." And blah. I was wearing 2 tuxedos, so it was a lot of studs and cummerbunds and everything, just a couple of bow ties, But so I'm like, I'm getting like comfortable, and I'm taking, I'm undressing very slowly, because I'm thinking to myself, 2 things are going to happen. Well, 3 things.
Yeah.
Either somebody's going to walk through the door and they're going to be like, "Hi, I'm Carol."
I'm Deborah.
And
I'm Tammy.
I'm Tim. Oh God. Oh,
Tammy.
Right? I'm a 7-year-old Ethiopian girl. Don't worry, you can't get AIDS. Can't get AIDS from my hands.
Don't worry, I'm too young to have AIDS.
Yeah, jokes on it. Jokes on everybody.
A lot of the other sex tourists are worried about that, but don't worry.
Yeah, don't hit me in 24 months, because I'll be positively redolent with AIDS. I'll be able to give you. I'll have so much AIDS, I'll give it to you with a massage.
That was top 5 saddest articles I've ever read. And it happened live on the show.
Yeah, that was really. It got worse and worse as you went too. Really, you're like, this is a turnaround. This article. I'm going to get to a recipe.
Oh my God!
I'll get to a recipe for Ethiopian flatbread at some point. Isn't this on allrecipes.com? Why is this article so depressing?
Can I skip to the ingredients? God, I don't need to hear the whole story.
All right. What if I convert this to metric? To will that change the timbre of this sad story? So I'm in the room, and I'm sort of starting to take my clothes off, and I'm like, all right, so he's either going to come back and be like, "Brian, this is Tammy. You guys, this is your massage. Tammy, he said he wants an hour, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great." Or he's going to come back with like that weird belt thing on with like the oil stuck in it.
Which I think that's only from massage porn. But But I
oh,
you're in good company.
honestly, I don't mean to ruin Christmas, but I got one of those for my mom for Christmas, so I don't think you can
Oh,
order
okay.
them
All right, never mind.
on Amazon.
My bad.
Yeah, you can have your favorite sports team too.
So
you can,
really, it's like a holster with oil on it.
sure is.
Wow. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
literally only seen.
By the
those
way,
in...
oil or lube or barbecue sauce, whatever you're into, whatever floats your boat. But so I'm like there. So now I'm down to like my underwear and my socks, and he comes back in. And I'm still hopeful that he's going to come in and be like, sorry, she was at a swimsuit competition.
Yes.
And
yes.
she's got a little self-tanner in her eyes.
Right.
So
she was just finishing up teaching a hot yoga class.
yeah, sorry, she got her camel toe stuck in the front door. So she's got sorry about that. Her pussy's so beefy and puffy.
Right. Yeast infection from
exactly. Sorry. Right.
Such a pronounced camel toe.
Doesn't have any vocal cords, so she can't ever tell anybody whatever happens in this room. So that's something that
she certainly doesn't talk back.
No. She's right. Did I mention she's a 4-year-old Ethiopian?
The top of her head is totally flat, so you can actually set your drink on it.
Exactly.
It's really.
And we know you're from Manhattan. You're pretty fancy, so the oil is going to be truffle oil today. You're going to have
lactates mojito.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's just like this is my dream.
Back in those days, yeah, exactly. Oh so I'm standing there, and I'm in my, and he comes back, and he kind of is like looking at me like, why am I not on the table, kind of thing. And I said, I'm sorry, I have to ask because I'm going to find out in a minute anyway. Are you the therapist? Yeah. And he immediately knew where I was going with this.
Yeah.
And he was super gay, which, by the way, fine. In a weird way that I would have.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah.
Now I wouldn't care. Now I have to officially say I wouldn't care. This was about 20 years ago.
Maybe one of us will kind of enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, and also if that's your look and you're straight, it better be close to Halloween. Like he's like, you have to apologize to people. You're like, sorry, my wife and I are I'm like a 19th century bodybuilder, and that's my look, and I had to go the mustache.
Sure.
She's Raggedy Andy. I don't know why. So anyway, I'm doing your massage. Booty booby booby boo. Trick or treat. So he goes, I said, are you the massage therapist? And he was like, yes. And I said, I'm sorry that I did not make this clear, and I apologize. And I know I sound like super weird maybe to you, but I'm not comfortable having a massage by a guy, and I'm sorry. And I know there's nothing sexual. And he literally starts to like sell it to me. And he's like, it's not.
And he's like, oh no, it'll be really sexual.
He's like, it wasn't going to be sexual.
He goes in a different direction.
Yeah. He walks over and locks the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, we've just gone from a massage to a different kind of
hit the Matt Lauer button.
We're getting some lymphatic drainage. You're not gonna, whether you like it or not, you're getting your lymph drained. So I was like,
not gonna be lymph after I get old.
So he's standing there and he starts to like sell it to me. And meanwhile, in my head, because like I have like a ADHD, even though I hate people say things like that. But like, so a lot of times when I'm thinking of something, if I'm doing it while I'm doing it, I'm still thinking about something else over here. So the whole time I'm kind of like hearing this guy pitch it to me, all I can think about is, wow, I'm burning like a half an hour at least. Like, I don't have to listen to that fucking Justin Timberlake album. You know, I now only have half of this side. He's like, yo, you want a bonus track? No, I don't. But anyway, so as he's explaining it to me and he's kind of like giving me the, pun intended, hard sell, I say to him, I was like, look, I don't mean to cut you off. And I understand. I said, it's just not going to happen. So it's on me. And I know that I whatever you think, whatever, we can all agree that I'm a weirdo and I apologize, but I should have said something, but I'm not. And then I remember this so clearly. I did give him a little bit of a dig. I was like, this can't be the first time this has happened. And
I tend to agree with you there.
Oh, I saw him wince a little bit. I got under the armor with that.
Yeah, no, I just think like you should.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's best if you're not trying to bamboozle somebody, it's best to just be upfront.
Yes.
So all you got to do is go, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, I am the when you came in to inquire.
Yes.
If he just said, oh, yeah, actually, I'm the massage therapist, then it would have been totally clear. But when you're like, ooh, I got one, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go put on the Enya, and I'm gonna like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then it's sort of like, well, it does kind of seem like he was sort of not a major fast one, but a minor.
Or maybe as we're walking back there, drop some hints. Be like, have you ever been to ancient Greece?
Yes.
You know, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you? What's your favorite Broadway show?
Did you watch Will and Grace last night?
Yeah.
I mean, it was around probably that time period.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly right.
Boy, that Jack sure is a hoot.
Yeah. God, boy, have you? There's a great brunch place in Cleveland with beignets. Have you ever had a beignet? Like,
that's basically
a
gay
donut,
code, right?
It's a gay donut.
Yeah, I love a fucking beignet.
God, now I'm starving.
Have you ever had a beignet Benedict?
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my wife had beignets last night at a restaurant. Anyway,
but a Benedict, would they do it on a beignet?
Oh, it's delicious. Like a sweet Benedict?
Yeah. Instead of in lieu of the English muffin.
Okay. Still with hollandaise and everything?
Yeah, because it's like sweet and they'll do like a bacon jam or something.
Oh,
fuck. It's all about the sweet
bacon jam. That sounds good.
Fucking delicious.
But
here comes the bacon jam.
With my Ozempic, I'd love to eat that and then throw it up 20 minutes later.
Right.
So anyway, what the funniest thing was, as he's telling me this, I remember the hook where my clothes are like behind him. So I'm just kind of like,
you're not going anywhere. What if it got weird and dark and raped you?
I am late on my condo payment. Okay.
Yes.
Or he pulls the wig off. He actually has a thick head of beautiful hair. He's like, this was a bald wig. I'm like, why does that even matter?
He's got to pay for his Pontiac Sunbird convertible.
Yeah, why are you cosplaying as a Mr. Clean guy? So I'm kind of like reaching around and like getting my shirt and my sweater and everything, and I remember thinking to myself, like, dude, your 2-minute sales pitch, I'm not going to be like, all right, let's just give this a shot.
Yeah,
we need a safe word. So if I'm too uncomfortable, because the whole time I would just be like, and so I put my clothes on, and then I was like, should I just give him like $20? I was like, no, fuck this guy. So I got back out, and the driver was like, how'd it go? He was like, I don't think he even realized how long I was in there for. Right. And I remember it was a 10-year-old limousine, and this was 20 years ago anyway. So it had like that boomerang car antenna on it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Really?
Like, picture a Cleveland limousine. This was what it was.
My uncle Mike had a limousine company.
Okay,
growing up, and this was back when. Yeah, the antenna on.
I believe the color. I believe it was even gray.
Probably had LED strips, like with a little.
Yeah, like
in movie theater,
like one of those Yosemite Sam mud flaps, on one,
Playboy mud flaps
on the other, because he mixed and matched them.
Sure.
So anyway, I go back out, and the guy's there, and I get in the front seat, and he's like, "How'd it go?" I'm like, "I didn't get the massage." And he goes, "Why?" And I go, "It was a guy." And he immediately went, "Oh, hell no." And I said, "Well, thank you." Exactly.
Yeah, that's where, you want to have a middle-aged black guy for a driver.
I remember
he's gonna understand.
I remember he had the most beautifully manicured nails. He was like one of those black guys who had like great nails and like jewelry, He
one of those black guys.
Those EK glasses. Yeah. Anyway, so let's check in to see what's going on with anybody.
Say hi to the folks.
I know it's a Friday show. We're back on Fridays.
Yeah, we're back on Fridays.
Everybody.
Welcome back. We had some interesting. Nick said Comic-Con sucked. He spent $50 to meet Jared from Subway.
Oh boy.
I get there and they tell me he's been in jail for 5 years.
Fucking Nick.
Who the hell did I pay? Nick's doing shtick in the chat. I like that.
You're the funny one, Nick. I've told everybody.
Right?
I'll see you Monday. But hey, by the way, if you happen to be watching this, remember Laugh for Sight is on Monday. So that is at the Gotham Comedy Club. Just Google Laugh for Sight. Yeah. Monday, the 28th of October. We have Dan Natterman, Michael Vecchione, Adam Ferrara, TJ Miller, Katie Hannigan. Thank you.
It's Mike's wife.
Very, very funny. It's going to be a great show. So it's a benefit for blind people, but it's going to be a really good show. And you'll meet Nick. Nick will be there.
He's gonna be doing a meet and greet.
Sign and headshots. Him and Nick, you're gonna have to cosplay as Jared from Subway. So you have the criminal record. Now you just need the outfit.
Right.
Just giant. If you just had giant pants. And like one of those you
just pants that you pull out,
giant pants, and just keep telling people
your progress.
I want to fuck kids. Just keep going on and telling people that. Like that's your.
I don't want to fuck.
Yeah.
His business partner was the one that had all the kitty. He was also a perv, I believe, and they kind of worked with each other.
He's getting out soon too. I think.
Is he?
I think so.
Oh my God! Do you
Watch
think
out.
we could get him?
He's coming back. It'd be funny if you got out and Blimpies picked him up. Blimpies was, yeah.
Jared Fogle for Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, exactly. Well, folks, here I am.
Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Everybody's got Jimmy John's got Brad Garrett. Jersey Mike's has Danny DeVito. What's it? I mean, Blimpie doesn't have anybody, but I don't even know if Blimpie is hardly even a thing anymore.
Maybe
I've been to a couple of Blimpies in the last 10 years, and they were all like
they're
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, they're about to close down.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Blimpie. What's a sandwich place?
They're open by candlelight and they're hand slicing with like just a big serrated knife.
Dude, I remember one time I was maybe coming from the airport.
Fuck yeah, you were.
And I stopped at the one in Jamaica, Queens.
God, how hungry were you?
I'm probably very hungry. Yeah. And there was like a child working behind it. It was like a kid. And then I went to one in Bayonne, New Jersey. Oh. That was the other one because I dated this crazy girl that lived in New Jersey. And that was like one of those where I went in and there was like, they were selling things like almost like a dollar store.
Yeah, like
there was like trinkets and
extra stuff.
Yeah, like you could buy a wireless keyboard.
I went, weird. Can I get a sandwich and a 2-year-old advent calendar, please? Yes, you can.
It was very strange, but it was like, and I had to like wake the guy up. I mean, it was wild.
He like lives in the Blimpies.
Yeah. I honestly think maybe.
Well, remember Quiznos? There was one on 23rd Street.
Yeah, I think a lot of those closed too. Because the one in Long Island City closed.
Potbelly is still around. I feel like Potbelly took over.
He could be the spokesperson for
Potbelly. He's like, boy, I get a real hunger of not. He holds up his ankle bracelet. He's like, nothing makes up a hunger than having consensual sex with grown-up people.
I mean, that would be the ballsiest marketing move because you could get them for next to nothing.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it would be, I mean, you could start a sandwich place like ground up.
Oh yeah,
do that, and it would be massively. I mean, like,
and even I'll take it a step further. You could even probably create a GoFundMe thing and be like, "This is my GoFundMe. I'm opening a sandwich shop, and you guys are going to give me money, and we're going to hire Jared from Subway." Jared Fogel's going to be our spokesperson. We're going to pay him $20,000 a year, and he's going to love it.
And then you basically could just run off with the money because no one's going to probably come to your sandwich shop.
Well, you do a pop-up.
Well, you would get a certain amount. You would get like
and part of the deal is he'd have to come by for signings like once a week.
But Potbelly would be perfect because it'd be like, I'm getting fat.
I think he gained weight in prison.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him.
But you would make weird stipulations with him. You're like, all right, listen, you have to do story time with kids, like in the store, like lunch 3 days a week, and we pick the days. Like you make them be around kids a lot.
Oh my!
You just make.
I don't know legally if you could even do that.
Well, it's a contract. It's a contract. If you don't want the job, then these are the bullet points. You need.
Well, no, I mean like, but as far as is it legal for you to give him a contract saying does he have to because he would have to register. So at the beginning of the meet and greet, all the kids would have to sign, their parents would have to sign off.
Or at least he would, well, listen, we would make it easy on him. I'd have like a recorded thing. Like we reel out a TV, like
you consent, and then you would
like the AV club in middle school. I would just wheel out a television, plug it in, put in a VCR tape. I kind of make it a performance art. And have it look like all VCR-y, like kind of jumping frames and stuff.
Definitely.
And be like, I'm Jared Fogel. If you're watching this, I'm about to read your children a story in a fake sandwich shop. And so just so you know, I'm a sex offender, level 2, not level 1. Okay. So I jerked off the kids. I haven't jerked off kids. Anyway, good night, moon. Good night, spoon. Good night, cows jumping over the moon. So anyway. Yeah. But fuck, that whole thing was all for fucking some dumb shit.
Oh, well, we were going down the line and we were talking about it. Was Nick brought up but I do want to say a quick plug is if you want to sign up if you want to become a member.
Yes,
because we're going to go over to the members only
area
behind the velvet rope.
Be a
it's
member.
Very exclusive.
It's a little.
But right at the top of the chat, you click that and you can become a member, and then there's archived everything.
Yeah, everything's over there, and just join. It's like $5 a month. Join and then quit, and then join again and quit. That's what I do with like HBO Max or something. I'll join.
Oh,
and
really?
Quit. Well, no, not HBO Max. Apple TV. Apple TV.
Right.
I'm constantly jumping in and out of Apple TV.
Well, you get the free. Don't you get a free year with the iPhone? I think I got a free year, and I never used it.
But here's the thing: you can only get that. I mean, I got that first free year like 6 years ago, so you can't just keep re-upping.
They don't just give it to you every time.
No, it's like it's tagged to your Apple ID.
Gotcha.
So they're going to be like, "Meh, sorry, you've already done it." If you want to watch Shrinking with Jason, whatever his name is, and a trembly Harrison Ford, you're going to have to pay for it. And by the way, before we jump over, anybody else we say hi to or no? We're good.
Oh, I mean, we could say, it's a lot of people. So I don't want to just say
hi everybody.
Hi to everybody. Yeah, it's better to just say hi to everybody.
And remember also, the bonus content is on Patreon, and we could use your support over there. So that's probably somewhere where Christ is being eviscerated.
Down at the bottom, patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
Yeah. So we would appreciate the Patreon too. And again, that's like,
however you want to do it, become a member, however you want to do it.
One way or the other way.
Patreon guy.
Yes.
Go to Patreon.
Yeah.
If you're YouTuber.
Yep. One or the other.
Or if you want us to smash your like button.
Yeah, I'll smash it. Yeah, I'll do
vigorously.
That. Vigorously, up and down again.
Take turns.
I'll stop watching Soft White Underbelly. And then what else? Oh yeah, I was going to say people were recommending that show Monsters, the Menendez show.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Now that's a sort of a biopic type thing, right? Yeah, it's like a movie. Yes. It's not a docu.
It is a biopic about Eric and Lyle, and I
heard they're like pretty fuckable, right?
Okay, not only are they fuckable, it is I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. Like, for example, and I'm not spoiling anything here, but Lyle wears a toupee in this thing. And the toupee is basically a third brother. Like, the toupee might as well get the thing line. Yeah, like early on, the mom rips his toupee off his head.
Oh, wait, Lyle's the dad?
No, Lyle's the son, the oldest son.
Where's the toupee?
Yes.
Wow.
There's a scene where there's a scene. Well, I think he goes bald because his dad was banging him so much.
Sure,
I think
that'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why most of those children in Ethiopia have no hair, because it's very anxious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 5-year-old bald girl with AIDS. Well, not with AIDS. That's the good thing about it. Yeah. Otherwise, it's so guilty. But anyway, there's a scene where the dad, Javier Bardem, who is in No Country for Old Men and a bunch of other shit, he's like talking to us, and he's a real ass. I mean, he talk about a guy that's like chewing the scenery, as we say in show business. Ooh. And he looks at his son. He goes, "Hey, are you losing your hair?" And he like forcibly puts his hand under. And the scene after that, Lyle's washing his hair, and he sees all this hair in the drain. So it becomes a thing. But then they go to prison, and the prisoners are ripping his toupee off. At one point, he's washing his toupee in the sink with Eric's toothbrush, and it goes down the toilet. Like, I mean, it is like. And then finally, I'll tell you one more thing. I'm telling you, you have to watch this. It is so great.
It sounds bleak.
I
will
a lot of it's played for jokes. And there's a scene also where finally their female lawyer, I forget her name, but she finally gets Eric, the younger one, to admit and start talking about the sexual abuse. And she's like, "You have to tell me what happened, because you come off as very unlikable. The jury hates you.
Sure.
You know, I need to know, like, why did you shoot your mother in the head 4 times? Like, why did you do it?" So he starts to open up about the sexual abuse, and he talks about how his dad did it. Started with massages in Cleveland, blah blah. And it's called,
oh wow! Yeah. Holy shit!
And then at a certain point, telling her this, he goes, "So I started putting cinnamon in his coffee." And she goes, "Why did you put cinnamon in his coffee?" And she looks at him, and he looks at her like she's an idiot, and he goes, "To make the cum taste better." And I paused it. I turned to my wife, and I was like, "This is my most favorite show I've ever seen in my life. This is it." So anyway, I recommend, Monsters, Netflix. I don't know if they have Netflix in England, Ted, but get a VPN, baby. Come on over.
Oh my God. I want to know if that really happened.
100% happens in the show.
Well, I mean, it happens in the show, but I just don't know if
it's my ringtone.
Oh my God. It makes the
cum taste better.
That's maybe the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, listen, I respect be resourceful, sort of make lemonade out of a no pun intended.
No,
but I mean, wow.
Yeah, and then they have like their high-powered Alan Dersh, not Alan Dershowitz, the other guy. Who's the guy that's he's the Kardashians' dad, Robert Shapiro. Robert Shapiro is the lawyer, and Robert Shapiro is one of these lawyers that's like
the Kardashian. You're not talking about Robert Kardashian?
Yeah, but I thought his name was Shapiro. Okay, maybe it's Robert Kardashian. Okay, well then maybe it's Robert.
I can't imagine.
Okay,
because there is a Robert Kardashian.
Okay, that was stupid. I think this guy with Robert Shapiro. This guy. Okay,
that's
hold on.
A different guy.
Robert
right?
Shapiro was OJ's lawyer.
But I think Kardashian also worked on.
Yes,
right?
I believe so. Yes, but
God,
I think I don't know. Shapiro's like, I don't want to sound too Jewy. I'm going to change my name to Kardashian.
Oh yeah, Robert Kardashian was. Yeah, he was.
Who's Robert Shapiro? Do I have that right?
I think that's a.
Type it in the old.
I'll look that.
Yeah,
was an Armenian business. Yeah, he was the Kardashian was a lawyer. Yeah, I think Robert Shapiro is also a lawyer.
Okay, fair enough.
But let me just double.
But they have like Robert Shapiro.
Okay, yeah, I know that guy.
Okay,
Shapiro.
So Robert Shapiro shows up, and this is a lawyer that's like $5,000 an hour or something crazy.
He was OJ's.
Yeah, and he's talking to they keep calling him the boys, and he has him in that little room in the jail where you can talk to your lawyer, and he's got a piece of paper in his hand. He's like, Ban de Soleil, and he's like, yeah, it's self tanner. We need self tanner. And he's like, you guys are going to get the gas chamber. He's like, listen, I need my hair tape.
We need a nice bronze. Oh, that's
but he needed his hair tape because his hairpiece starts looking super fucked up because he's wearing it in prison, and he's just kind of putting it on like a Daniel Boone coonskin cap,
No.
So anyway, I know.
Oh my! I can't wait. I'm watching it this weekend.
It's totally.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. So,
holy shit!
And everybody out there, monsters. I'm telling you, you're welcome. Although a lot of people have already watched. I mean, I heard it from other people, so I'm not. Yeah. I know I'm not the first. I know I'm a little late to the party here.
There has been a buzz, but nobody really broke it down for me.
Makes the cum taste good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, makes daddy's cum taste good.
Wish I would have thought of that myself.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So many years of having a bleachy taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Going to school, it was like the chicken nuggets wouldn't even mask the flavor.
It's so crazy you say that. Thinking about it, I remember my father's cum. I was like, God, what does he drink? Swimming pool water?
No amount of square pizza would get that out.
I brought it up once, and it ruined Thanksgiving.
He's got on a steady diet of chlorine.
Yeah. What are you guys thankful for? Well, I tell you what, I'm not thankful for. My father's bleachy cum. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to jump over to the members area for the bonus show. And if you're not going to be a member, at the very least, hit that stupid fucking like thing and subscribe. Although I know a lot of you have, so I appreciate it. So, okay, enough begging. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. We'll see you next week. Oh, next week we're going to have
Vic Legina.
Vic Legina, whose book is I feel like an asshole. Is it Filthy?
Filthy, yeah.
Yeah.
Great book.
Vic Legina.
Yeah, I'll send you the DM that he sent me. He was like, it's gonna be like the Frost Nixon, I guess.
Okay.
He's like, we can talk about anything you want. We can get weird.
He loves it. He's such a really, really great guy. And again, because I can't, I listen to books. He reads his own audio book.
It was really good.
If you have Spotify, you can get Filthy on Spotify. So if you have a plan,
it's free.
It's free,
baby. Yeah.
And it is really, really. It is. I know I know this sounds like hyperbole, but like. Everything you wanted to know about the adult industry is in this book. It's all of that and more. And he's a very engaging guy, and it's written well and it's funny. So I recommend Filthy. And he'll be on the show next week. So also, if you listen to it between now and then, you want to ask him questions.
And then there you go.
Look at that.
There you go.
We just made a real show.
Yeah.
Bound to happen. 14
finally
14 years in, we finally figured out how to make a real show. So, all right, now we're really going to go. We're gabbing away. You guys have a great day.